Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitpatch.com, out here for another gear review, and today I'm talking belts. This one right here, which is the Salt Belt by Arbor Arms. So, broad strokes, what is it? Well, it is a battle belt, three-part system. So we have inner belt, and then we have an outer belt, either padded or unpadded, which allows you to attach things via pals. And then we have the inner belt, which is at basically the heart of it. And I'll go over all of those. I will say as a quick aside before we start, probably long overdue on this. I think I've had this thing for probably a good, 3 years or so at this point. But in that time, I've definitely put in a lot of time with it. So I'll go over these three different components first. I've actually had this thing so long, this is an early prototype. So this right here is the inner belt. Think of it as basically like a pants belt. So you put this on, and the way this is sized, one, there's Velcro all the way around it, and the material, the webbing, it's soft, it's comfortable. Again, I think hold up your pants. And the way this one is sized is you have a number of different cells that are stitched on here, and you have this hook, again, early prototype, raw aluminum, not even anodized, and it basically slides in and is captured like that. They actually make three versions of this. One uses like a small G hook, and they have one which is non-metallic, so basically uses some webbing and cinches tight. For my own part, I found this one to be honestly my favorite. It just, for me, most secure, easy to put on, and yeah, does well. Next we get into the other belts. So the main belt right here, we have our Cobra buckle. Again, webbing, crazy stitched, super strong buckle, can do all kinds of stuff with it. And then we get into basically the sleeve, padded, unpadded. This one, I might have misspoken if I mentioned something earlier, is actually unpadded. And so there's a number of these different panels, we'll go over more on that in a second, that basically make up the whole sleeve. And then inside there, of course, you actually have the belt itself. So with all of these, we'll call them cells, these pieces right here, I wrap around for that belt sleeve. Kind of some magic there. I'll go over that. While I appreciate that, yes, I'm in the business of trying things, so I'm kind of constantly swapping things. Having said that, I've never met anyone that was like, oh yeah, I set up my battle belt and never changed anything after that. Done. Because usually what happens is you're playing with kind of, hey, where do I want this to be as far as this? Maybe I should shift this over a little bit. And then eventually you're like, oh, try this mag pouch or dump pouch, fill in the blank, whatever. So things get changed. There are a few things that I hate more than honestly weaving MOLLE, pals, all that stuff. Can't stand it. This, I will say, makes it really easy to basically change setups with respect to your belt. And so the way it does that is, again, you have your inner belt, which is like your gun belt, supports your gun, everything like that. And then you have either padded or non-padded liner. And so this piece right here is awesome. You have all these individual cells, and the belt would be here. This would wrap over, Velcro on itself. And you can undo these. And when you undo them, you actually have access to all of this laser cut pals so that you can very easily weave things. And so also depending on where you want it, like this mag pouch, for example, this AR mag is basically on two of them. Again, doesn't matter. And if you want, if I was gonna open this one up, and again, I have access to everything. And maybe I want to, Peanut, come here, not helping at all. So if I wanted to run something like this, this is by Chase Tactical. It's one of their dump pouches. I can have room. Yeah, I'll do it there. Easy to take it on and off. So this one, it's using this Velcro webbing here. So I'll basically figure out what slots I'm gonna put it through. I'm gonna go for these ones here and just do it. Pretty straightforward. And having this free easy to manipulate. So now, again, this one attaches with these basically Velcro pals. And so loop this back over, secure it, put all these back over for that matter. And bam, now my whole belt is put back together, which, quick rundown of this, by the way. Basically, these are some EMDOM. I believe they're the immediate access pistol pouches, or yeah, pistol mag pouches. This one is by SKD Tactical, one of their quickie ones, or ESSTAC, I guess it is. And then right here, as I mentioned, Chase Tactical. Lift this guy up, Velcro, and a dump pouch. And then coming around, obviously Safariland, ALS, have, yeah, pistol, all that in there. And then this right here, thigh strap hanger by Carry Concealment. But super easy to put things on. To include, if, not that I would run a mag back here, but also you can just take this whole thing. And so I'm gonna basically undo this one section and I'm gonna run it behind the belts, which would probably be easier if I undo a couple of them. So I basically took this cell, ran it behind the actual belt, and then that cell I just opened just so it was easier to manipulate. And I can throw that back there if I want. Then I can take something like this, which is using a tech lock, and I can put it on the actual belt itself right here. So tech lock's your thing. You can still, of course, use it. You're basically just putting one of these panels from the actual like belt section behind the gun belt, we'll say, and then you can go ahead and put whatever tech lock there, which is basically the same way I actually have the holster set up, the Safariland, in that I just put this one behind it so that I could run the belt outside of it, give me access to it, and run my holster right there. Also, if you're unfamiliar with kind of how these belt systems work, basically on your pants belt, you have female Velcro, and on this, you have male Velcro, hook and loop, as some people like to refer to it as. But basically, this marries up, this being around your waist on your pants, and then once this is on there around the outside, it doesn't move. Can you use this without that inner belt, especially if you're somewhere cold? Yes, you can. Basically, I'll throw it over whatever the layers. Will say it helps if it's kind of tighter rather than looser. And that Velcro in there, depending on the material, it potentially can like abrade it, but it honestly just helps it stay put. And then if you have something like this guy right here, that thigh strap hanger by Carry Concealment, it's actually really handy because it basically anchors everything down. So when you're moving, get dynamic. Even if this thing wants to slide, depending on whatever outer layer you have, this largely is staying put, so it limits the movement of everything else. With all of that said, what has been my experience and how is this setup done for me? Honestly, again, I've had it for probably like over 3 years now. I've used it a lot. The first time I really remember using it was actually in competition, shooting Desert Brutality 2020, I want to say. I was running in the heavy division, so I had basically everything on this, essentially running in my suit minus my coat, and it was a ton of fun. This did a really good job. Again, one of the benefits of this belt, to include belts like it, is with that inner outer, it stays put. So no matter how dynamic you are, unless you get insane, this belt is basically staying put on that inner Velcro belt. So all of your gear is exactly where you expect it to be when you go reach for it. And yeah, it works great. I will say, I guess in part with what I do, reviewing things, and in addition to that, just the reality of changing up belt setups. I really, really appreciate how there's all these individual cells that you can undo individually and gives you access, makes it really easy to weave any type of pals, anything along those lines, all your attachment methods. Or if you're going to use tech locks, just boom, expose a section of the belt, put your tech lock there, you're good to go. And that honestly is one of the most valuable things with this belt setup. Additionally, Arbor Arms, made here in the US, really solid construction. Again, I've been using this thing off and on for at least 3 years now, and yeah, been really pleased with it. If this is something you're looking for, there'll be a link down below, and they're offered in a bunch of different sizes as well as a bunch of different colors, to include different colors for all 3 pieces, whether it's that inner like pants belt, as well as the sleeve, padded or unpadded, and basically that main like gun belt. As far as sizing, it's specific, and it is not like pant size. I want to say they actually have a video for sizing on there. To give you an idea, this one is size 10, if that means anything to you. And as far as my like waist or pant size, I guess, I'm just under 6 foot. I wear size 33 basically as far as pants. I'm not saying like if that's you, order size 10. Again, they have very specific like sizing chart, and yeah, you'll want to follow it so you actually get the right belt sizes. But overall, like I said, I've been really pleased with this. One, durability, everything stays put, even when I'm not wearing like the inner belt with the outer belt, but obviously those paired together does incredible with that Velcro. And then biggest thing is just ease of being able to take things on and off and swap gear out, whether you're changing calibers, going from something heavy to something lighter, or like I said, just trying different stuff. Overall, pretty solid setup. There'll be links down below if it's something you're interested in. Last but not least, if you appreciate my content and want to support it, greatly appreciate it. Whether it's liking and sharing videos or supporting me directly through Patreon, helps me go out and create more content for you. And if you have questions for me, we have an active Discord over there. We're happy to answer those questions. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.